Alright guys, we're going to attempt to do lesson number 28 via video here and see how we do. The first part should be somewhat review for you, fractional parts of numbers. There's three types of questions for you, all going to involve this kind of idea here, is and of. Okay, the word of, when it comes to multiplication, means that you're taking a fractional part of the total. So it's basically your fraction times your total will equal the part. Okay, that's another way to think about it. The total times the fraction gives you the piece of that fraction. Okay, so when I read a problem like this, 3/4 of what number is 69, I know I'm taking a fractional part of a certain number, so that's my x. So 3/4 x is 29. This is the part that I'm looking for, not the total. So of course we would divide to get that answer when we have this fraction set up. Get the 3/4 to the other side using the division of fraction, which is multiplied by the reciprocal, and my total was 92. The second type of question you might see, what fraction is 40 of 24? So this one doesn't involve a fraction yet. I'm just supposed to make that fraction. So all I have is the total, because it's of 40, is 24. The 24 is the part, so all I have to do is make 24 over 40, and then just reduce that to 3/5, and that's all I'm supposed to do there. Some problems would ask for a percentage, but this one just says what fraction is it. And finally, the last one, 2 1/2 of 240 is what number? So of 240, this is my total. This is my fraction of that total. Anytime you have a higher than 1, this number is actually going to be higher than the number we started with. Okay? Because any fraction between 0 and 1 is what's going to make your number smaller, not bigger. So this is a straight up multiplication. You have your total times your fraction giving me the part, but in this case, because that number was so big, we actually got higher than the total amount. So those are the three types of questions involving fractions. Functional notation, pretty important, so we're going to take a minute here to talk about that. Basically, what we have here, here, I'll show you what I wrote down for our notes. Okay, function notation. Function is an algebraic expression with exactly one value for any real number that we choose for x. In other words, if we have an equation, no matter what number I plug in for x, whether it be 5, 0, or -75, anything you want, every time you plug in a number, you're going to get a different answer. So one common way of saying that is each input has exactly one output. Okay, every input should come up with an answer every time. Okay, our old notation would involve y equals, and we would just write it out like that. Function notation is going to be a different way of writing this exact same thing. So we just have to be used to seeing it. It's nothing else, and it looks like this crazy thing. Okay. It still says x plus 2, but instead of the letter y, we have this weird looking symbol. That is read as, f of x. F of x, meaning the function for x is that. Okay, now my son kind of wrote on my, there you go, that's my beautiful picture from my 2-year-old, but he had written on my notes. So basically I had said the old notation just would have been something like that, where we could plug in different values to get different answers. The new notation is we put the value of -2 in there. On this left side, we're not doing any math at all. This is just notation for I am plugging this number in for x to get that answer. So this represents I plugged in -2 to get an answer of -8. That's what this notation means. I plugged that number in and got that answer. I plugged 0 in and got that answer. Plugged 3 in and got that answer. Okay? So if f of x equals x times x minus 4, find f of -2. Again, all this means is take your -2 and plug it in. This means nothing mathematically. It's just the notation that says I'm going to plug that number in. So I take -2, and the two spots where I see the x, I put it in. Then I just do my math. -2 minus 4 is -6. Two negatives multiply to be a positive. So again, I plugged in -2, I got an answer of 12. This is not a math operation of any kind, this is just a notation for it. Okay, it's not just the letter F. Sometimes we will see an H or a G there. Commonly, again, it's just naming this thing. Okay, it means nothing different mathematically. So find G of 1. All that means is anywhere you see the letter X, we're going to put a 1 in its spot, do the math, we get an answer of 1. So please do lesson number 28, 1 through 30. If you have questions, email or text or call me, and I can maybe help you out. Thank you. Talk to you Tuesday.